Classic 90s there with TLC and Waterfall, taken from the soundtrack to our next review. Starring Oscar winner Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson, Marvel's latest movie promises to take the cinematic universe into the next generation and get us suitably excited for next month's Endgame. This is Captain Marvel.
So, Skrulls are the bad guys. And you're a Kree, a race of noble warriors.
Heroes. Noble warrior heroes.
Your life began the day it nearly ended. We found you with no memory. We made you one of us. So you could live longer, stronger, superior. You were reborn.
I keep having these memories. Something in my past is the key to all of this.
You know how to fly this thing?
We'll see.
That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Would you like to know what you really are?
I think I had a life here. What aren't you telling me?
You've come a long way, but you're not as strong as you think. This war is just the beginning.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
Aren't you the cutest little thing? Aren't you cute? And what's your name, huh?
Fury.
What's you? I'll be back.
So that is the trailer for Captain Marvel. It is in cinemas right now. Beth and I are seeing it later today. Can't be more excited.
Super excited.
You sound it. But one guy who has seen it, friend of the show, Stephen Gallagher, is here to tell us all about it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. How are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How have you been?
Yeah, good. Very good.
Good. So let's dive right into this. Captain Marvel, what can you tell us?
I can tell you, it's a lot of fun.
Good.
Very much so. Very typical Marvel movie, which I'm all down with because I love Marvel. I'm a massive fan of all of these movies. But I think the big thing to take away, it is a lot of fun. It does sort of fall into, without giving anything away, it falls into sort of the things that Marvel have tried to pull away from recently. So the sort of not very good bad guy is kind of the sort of main problem with it. There's sort of not enough high stakes. But otherwise, you know, Samuel L. Jackson is incredible. Brie Larson is brilliant. She's just adorable and fine. You know, like her whole persona is incredible. Like she's so funny, so witty, so strong, powerful. You know, just oozes charisma. And Goose the cat is brilliant as well, and so Mendelsohn. So yeah, really good in terms of cast. I just think a little bit weak on the stakes and a little bit weak on the bad guy.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Goose, and I'm very excited to see why. One question for you: do you think that it was a bit of a mistake for Marvel to release Captain Marvel so close to Avengers Endgame?
Yeah, I think. Well, no, yes and no. I think maybe the way that they've advertised it hasn't been the best, and I think they were a little bit worried about how well it would be received. But also they did the exact same with Black Panther last year.
Yeah.
You know, they were quite close together, and it turned out everybody, you know, just fell head over heels for Black Panther, you know.
So, I mean, do you think this film is basically just a vehicle to take us from Infinity War to Endgame, or does it hold up in its own right?
It does hold up on its own right, but also the very fact that it's set in the 90s means that there are a lot of sort of, you get that feeling of going, oh, this, they're answering that question, or they're sort of guiding us towards this thing. But it's still its film. It's still its own film in its own right. Very much so. But there are, it's definitely a lead-in film to basically the culmination of everything that has happened in the MCU, answering lots of different questions all the way through.
Yeah.
Which is it's still quite nice in that sense. But yeah, it does kind of do those things that you're like, oh, did we need that? Did we need to know that? But there's also some brilliant Easter eggs in there, which are fantastic.
Yeah. So what about Brie Larson? Obviously, there's been a big deal made about the fact that in 10 years of Marvel films, she's the first sort of lead female superhero. I mean, I guess it goes without saying that it's been sort of 10 years too long. But does she hold her own well?
Oh, God, yeah. She is brilliant. I think that Marvel are going to have, possibly, again, without spoiling anything, they could have a Superman situation on their hands.
Right.
Just in terms of where do you go with that character. But Brie Larson as Captain Marvel is brilliant. She is so funny, so quick-witted. Holds her own. I can't wait to see her with Robert Downey Jr. in Endgame. Really hope they sort of share some screen time, because I think that is going to be brilliant. And her with, the likes of Drax and people like that, I think her character will bond well with quite a lot of different superheroes. And I think it's going to be hilarious and heart-wrenching at the same time. And I think that's because Brie Larson is so good. And she will hold up so well against any of them.
Well, on that note, we've got an interview with Brie Larson, and she talks about how she prepared for the role of Captain Marvel.
Because this is an exploration and one avenue of what female strength can look like, it was important to me that I put myself in that position myself, to not just say, oh, I just put on a magical costume and suddenly I'm super strong. Is that I put my body and my mind to the test and was able to do something that was way outside of my comfort zone and way beyond what I thought was possible. I mean, my goal of training for 9 months was just to see how far I could go. I would have never thought that I could deadlift 225 pounds by the end, or hip thrust 400 pounds, or be able to do pull-ups and push-ups, weighted push-ups. I mean, the things that I'm able to do with my body now are incredible, and I love that I can sit here and...
So that got cut quite abruptly short, but I think most of us know Brie Larson from Room, which is what she won the Oscar for. So her casting in this was probably a surprise to many. But it seems like she's really embraced that, and from what I know from the trailer, she actually seems quite funny. And I do agree with you. I think she's going to bounce really well off of Robert Downey Jr. and the other Avengers.
Yeah, I think it really comes out that she is very, very funny, and she comes across, really well. I think one of the other amazing things that they've done with this throughout, and something I didn't really think about until just now, but it's kind of a superhero trope in Marvel that every single guy that you see, every single male superhero has a shirtless scene. There's always one moment where you've got to see them completely ripped and see how strong that they are.
Yeah.
They haven't really done that with Brie Larson, because it doesn't feel like she needs to have that sort of check out my abs moment.
I think having a topless scene with Brie Larson would really get rid of that PG-13 rating that it was going for.
Exactly. But it's that thing of even if she was in a singlet or whatever, there's none of that. There's no kind of making her out to be sexualized or anything like that, or she's just this person that's really strong and really cool, and she is flawed, which is great. She has problems and things like that, so it's a very well-rounded female character. For once, somebody's written a character that is just a woman. She's not, she doesn't have to be slotted into specific boxes and told that this is the kind of superhero. It's just about her being her, and that's what I think Brie brings to it so well, and I think that's what makes it so good. Very much unlike Wonder Woman, which was excellent in so many ways and everything else, but she doesn't need the skimpy costume to do it. She can hold her own without having to, fall in love with somebody or anything like that.
Yeah, and that's great. And so we're seeing the film later today, and I'm gonna throw this out there because I know you can't give away any spoilers, but I'm hoping your reaction will tell us something. Captain Marvel cannot die in Avengers Endgame because they've only just introduced her. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because, she has signed a 5 to 7 picture deal, but no, I think Feige's right. I don't think anybody's safe. And that goes back to my whole Superman thing, is if you introduce a character who is this powerful and supposedly the strongest person in the MCU, where do you go with that?
I want to ask you what happens. I really want to know what's going on.
Don't do it.
I know. Okay, let's skip straight through to this. So, we do a thing called buy, borrow, or bin on every film that we review. Buy is you'd get it immediately, take it home. Borrow, you would watch it on TV, get it from a mate, and bin, you would never want to watch it again. Hate the film with a passion. So, buy, borrow, or bin. Where would you put Captain Marvel?
Oh, I'd buy it. I mean, I think I've watched it once, and I'll happily go watch it again in the cinema. Definitely, I'll probably go today, to be honest.
Well, you seem to be echoing the thoughts of Twitter. It's an overwhelming buy on our Twitter poll as well, so I can't wait to see it. Steve,
yeah, enjoy.
Thanks for your time.
Stay to the very, very end.
Yeah, well, obviously Marvel end credit scenes are infamous, so can't wait to see what they throw out there.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
enjoyable.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks for your time today.
No worries, man. Thank you.
Speak soon.
See you in a bit. Bye.
See ya.